Well, that was going to basically be the next question is what are you looking for from year two Mobley? And you're mentioning he's doing all these things like the face up game, the pull up jumper. I guess my question there is does having we both know Mitchell and Garland can play off the ball pretty well, but
Mhm.
does having both of them in addition to other ball handlers when you're at full strength in Rubio and Levert, does it like repress the opportunity for him to like really plumb the depths of his offensive game to where there might be that natural impetus to not use him as a traditional big. Like this is someone who could still grab the ball, get up the floor, but like he might not just have it a ton in half court situations. Or do you still think that there will be that investment in that development of just again exploring what he can do on ball? Because there were so many flashes last year, and the things you're saying, like that I didn't even know about before you hopped on this podcast, like how do you not give him that
Yeah.
opportunity?
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to explore that, and it might come with growing pains. Like, let's be honest, like there's going to be an adjustment for Mitchell. There's going to be an adjustment for Garland. Mobley is going to make mistakes as he's developing this skill set. But I think when you look at the ultimate plan for the Cavs, Evan Mobley, if everything works out according to how it's envisioned, Evan Mobley is supposed to be the best player on this team. And
Right.
like maybe Darius Garland's number two and Donovan Mitchell is number three. Like I think Mitchell's always going to be their leading scorer and kind of lead play finisher, but like Mobley's at the top of that pyramid. So even if it comes with growing pains, I think you want Garland and Mitchell to get these developmental reps playing off of Evan Mobley. And I think dribble handoffs are obviously going to be a big part of that. Him kind of working out of the high post. You're going to see a lot of double drags because they used a ton of that last season. I think Mobley, I saw videos of him working on the pop out of the double drag where he's kind of hitting that three. And he talked about getting the ball off of defensive rebounds and leading the fast break. Like that's really exciting. If you got Garland Mitchell sprinting to each corner with Evan Mobley bringing up the ball, like there's a lot of different possibilities. And I think this is going to be an interesting kind of year to examine JB Bickerstaff as well, because he kept getting robbed of tools throughout last offseason. He's coming into this year with a lot of different ways that they can play. And I'm excited to see how creative does he start out? Do you start with kind of base sets and build off of that as the season progresses? Do you get weird from the beginning and allow guys to get accustomed to playing a lot of different styles? Like there's a lot of ways for this to go. And I'm really fascinated to see kind of how JB Bickerstaff approaches this season.
And I also, you had mentioned Mobley playing backup center. I think close to a quarter of his minutes came there last year. Uh, to me, it feels like the best way if you really wanted to test I don't even want to call them limits, but like the infiniteness, whatever, if that's a word of his offensive game during those backup 5 minutes is probably when he's going to be surrounded by like the best type of spacing. Do you expect those? Because when you go into like their big man rotation, yeah, there's Kevin Love and there's Robin Lopez, but it does feel like it's set up so that when Jared Allen's not on the court, like maybe we even see the share of Mobley's minutes that are coming at the five, not increase dramatically because one, Jared Allen has to play.
Mhm.
But it does feel like maybe that's the best situation for them to really see what he can give you offensively is more of a focal point.
Yeah, I think the Mobley as like a secondary initiator is going to come within the flow of the game. Like it's probably going to come when only one of Garland or Mitchell is on the court. And I agree with you. I think it makes the most sense to do it at that time. You're probably going to have the best spacing around you in those opportunities, and you're probably going to have some mismatches to exploit. Like I think most matchups, you're probably going to have Mobley as the backup center, but I can also see like when you're playing against Joel Embiid, it probably makes sense to have Robin Lopez play as the backup center and have Mobley just float around as like the 7-1 Draymond, just the help defender that's ruining people's lives that made him such an effective player last year. So I think in nights where Mobley's playing at the five, you might see Dean Wade get a few more minutes at backup power forward because I think you probably want to keep Kevin Love's minutes around 18 a game to keep him healthy and fresh. But one nights where you're playing a little more traditional, maybe Dean Wade's playing at the three more, and it's basically just Mobley and Love playing at the power forward position. Like there's a lot of different ways for this to go.